I've been listening to the debate very carefully, and both in my office and here in the chamber, and I felt compelled to add a few words to this debate because I really think it hits home. Just a brief story. You know, I was in my district during the course of the pandemic, of course, as we all were, but I visited numerous establishments, numerous restaurants, places of worship, places that were really adversely affected by COVID-19. And the overlying question that I got from most people in my district was, what can you do to help me? I think we all, both Democrats and Republicans, got that question at some point or another over the last 365 days. We were asked, what could you do to help? Unfortunately, many of the times when we were asked that question, we didn't have an answer because we weren't in session, because we did not have the legislative authority as a co-equal part of government to actually legislate things throughout the pandemic. I speak on behalf of many constituents, but most importantly, small business owners that had, approached me, whether it be, in a grocery market or at the gas station, and really, truthfully, heartfelt said, Joe, what are you doing to help us throughout this pandemic? Many times I would point to, the federal government. For instance, the payroll protection program. Great. It saved a lot of jobs. We just saw the rental assistance program. That's great for a lot of struggling families that can't afford to make their payments. But at the end of the day, my answer was always limited to, well, the governor is operating by executive order, and unfortunately, I'd have to refer you to his branch of government or to my legislative aide. And as many of you can relate in here that are at the chamber today, your legislative aides have done a lot of the heavy carrying and heavy lifting this past year. We owe them a debt of gratitude because a lot of the questions had to be referred to some sort of office that had to do either with the governor or with the state of Connecticut because the power was literally taken away from us. So I support this amendment because it's about time that we as legislators, as elected members, we all got elected in November, have some sort of say in what is going on here in the state of Connecticut. Now, of course, we appreciate some work that the governor has done. We appreciate when we look at our numbers and we look at the state of Connecticut as a whole, we always want to take the positives. We don't want to be negative all day. I don't think anyone on my side of the aisle wants to be negative all day today. All we're asking for is a seat at the table so that way we can actually turn around and say to our constituents, yes, we do have a vote on this. Yes, we can help you with your small business. Yes, we can help you with your rental assistance. And yes, we have a vote, so at the end of the day, you can hold us responsible. You elected us to this position. You asked us to serve for 2 years. But by not having a vote, not having a say in a lot of what goes on day to day here in the state, it's tough to face a constituent face to face and tell them what is really going on because we're left out of the process. So we are just asking for a chance to participate in democracy as a co-equal part of government. And I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to look at this amendment, read it through, it's not reinventing the wheel, and vote yes, and try to at least restore some form of normalcy here in the state of Connecticut as we get to the tail end of this pandemic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Will you carry